Welcome back to another episode of the Player Ratings. I'm Dee and I'm joined by Patrick here, as always, to discuss that 2-0 win over Hartlepool. Patrick, let's jump straight into it. And let's start in goal with the main man, Jack Butland. I gave him a 6.5, you gave him a 7. For me personally, I was not surprised that he started in this game. I was expecting him to start maybe in a league game against Liverpool, but Vicente started in that game, of course. But for me, there isn't much to add. I don't think he had that much to do throughout the game. He made, I think, 3 saves. But for me, the one thing that really did stand out for me was that his distribution. It looked a bit better today than it did in the previous games. What did you think of his performance?
Yeah, I thought he played really well. I mean, I'll say it every time a goalkeeper does his job, he kept a clean sheet. He made big saves in the 5th minute, made a save, the header. He made a save in the 71st minute and late in the match. He just did what he had to do. And he's a very competent backup. I mean, we could argue the fact that maybe he should be starting over Kouyaté. I would say not yet. But as far as his way, he's playing really well. And again, he had a new back four in front of him because he had never played with Kelly, obviously. And I thought he was very competent today. I think Butland did a really good job today.
Yeah, as always, let us know your player ratings. What did you guys think about Jack Butland's performance? Leave it in the comment section down below, and we'll be trying to read them out throughout the week. Let's move on to the right back, Joe Ward. I gave him a 6.5 once again. You gave him a 7. Even though the numbers are slightly different, I feel like we're on the same wavelength in terms of thinking about our ratings. For me, Wardy, in this game, I have not seen him this season push up that much. He was actually up there supporting Olise, and he didn't do a bad job. Do you think it was a case of facing League 2 opponent where even on the counter-attack, we could handle them? Is that why Patrick Vieira maybe told Wardy to push forward in this game?
I think possibly. I think you have to look at the way that Hartlepool set up. They play the 3 centre halves, the 3, and then they have the 2 wing backs. And I think that he was definitely given license to go up because I tweeted out during the match that he was overlapping a lot with Olise, getting forward a lot. Got some good crosses in there. That's a Joe Ward I want to see. I mean, as much as I've critiqued him in the past on different things, I think when he's getting involved with Olise, and then you see what happens as the match progressed, Olise got more and more involved in the game. He was obviously our man of the match. But I thought that was in due part to the fact that Ward was so well going forward. So I thought Ward played really well today.
Do you think going into next game and from here onwards that Vieira might try it a bit more, telling Ward to go forward, or do you think it was just especially for this game, considering that they had a back 3 and they were pretty much tight throughout the game?
Yeah, I think it depends. You can't do that against Liverpool with Alexander-Arnold and those kind of fullbacks bombing down on your side. Yeah, exactly. But against like Hartlepool, it doesn't have those aggressive type of wing backs. You can do it. But again, I think it depends on the opponent. I think today was a perfect example, but I wouldn't look to see that in the Premier League by Joe Ward.
Yeah. Mark Gray, you gave him an 8. I gave him a 7.5. I thought he had a very solid performance once again. And you know one thing? We talk about Joachim Andersen's long balls, but in this game, he was decent with that as well. He had a bit of Joachim Andersen's game in him, even though Joachim Andersen was on the bench. But like defensively, he's just a leader. He's just an absolute, like, you cannot go past him. And all game long, we talked about Jack Butland making 3 saves, but it was due to him and, of course, other defenders. He was fantastic.
Yeah, he was brilliant. I mean, looking at the stats, he had 73 passes completed, most of anybody in the match. 92% pass completion rate. Scored a goal. Exactly. He's got 3 goals this season. That's his first match-winning goal. I mean, honestly, it's hard to critique a player who has, a centre half who plays that well. I thought he was really good today. Again, a new partner in Kelly. He's like his 3rd partner. 4th maybe, because he played with Andersen, he's played with Kouyaté, and he's played with Tompkins. Exactly. So, and he's been like the mainstay. Now, I thought Gehi, listen, he's come and lead some. For me, future captain of Palace, but played really well today. Deserves that high score for me today.
And also shows a credit to Mark Gray's actual abilities, because to be able to just have another defender next to you, different players, and just you play consistently like that, you're a very good player. Trust me. Other teams struggle with that. And, we've had it in the past as well. When Tompkins and Sako is out injured, we struggle defensively at times. So, Mark Gray, fantastic. Martin Kelly, look at that photo. I don't know what he took that photo, but he's got 6.5 in this game from both me and you. I think you wanted to give him a 7. 6.5 is a bit too low. But after God knows how many, is it years or is it time? Is it first start under Patrick Vieira for me anyways? I can't remember him starting before.
It is his
before
first
this game.
Season.
But He didn't look bad. He looked solid. And what I like about him is that after the game, he posted on Instagram as well, saying, "I'm ready to step up whenever." He knows his role in this. He knows his role in this team, and he played a decent role. I'll be honest. I wasn't too sure whether he should have started in this game. I will admit that.
I saw your tweet. I
didn't tweet it. I messaged you.
Same difference.
Exactly.
Don't tell the fans that we messaged. It's not fair.
Yeah, exactly. but he didn't look out of place considering a player that hasn't played in God knows how long. Even he has had some solid performance for under 23s, but in the first team, good performance.
Yeah, he hasn't played in a long time, and for him not to make a mistake. What I liked about him though, he kept it very simple. Wasn't trying to play with the ball too much. Didn't try and play any long diagonals. If he wasn't sure about the ball, it was back to Kouyaté, straight to Gehi, or he put a couple into the stands even. He wasn't sure, which I like. He just, and I just think for a player who hasn't played in a long time, and you make a great point. Say ready to step in. You know what? We might need him. Tompkins is injured. Anderson got a rest. So let's say for Wednesday, and God forbid one of those two go down, at least Kelly can actually go in there. And he hasn't played. Has not played in a year or so. So no. For guy who hasn't played in over at least, I would say at least a year, because I haven't been playing that much under Hodgson for sure, especially at the end of the season. He deserves at least a 7 for that. So he played really well today. Good for him.
Yeah, and also stats 85% passing accuracy. We saw that side of his game as well, which it's not bad for a player as we said, that hasn't played for over a year. For Mitchell, 6.5 for both of us. For me, I haven't got much to really add about Ty. I don't think he had an amazing game. I don't think he had a poor game. He was solid for us. Done what he normally does, but nothing really stood out for me in terms of actual stats that I can read out for you guys. 81% passing accuracy, 54 touches. He had 1 cross that was successful out of 2, and 2 long balls that were accurate out of 7. So not much. I mean, what did he make of his performance? Do you have anything to add?
No, just a very Tyreek Mitchell type performance. Only thing I would say, he should have scored a goal. Mateta hit the post. He's got to score that. I don't know how he skies it over from that close. Yeah. I mean, remember the goal against Southampton or someone or Villa when he chested it in? Could have done the same thing today. But again, I'm not killing him for that. But he definitely could have scored a goal. But again, just got forward a lot, overlapped well, did his job. I don't remember anybody on the right side really getting on his our left, getting past him. So solid for him. Very solid.
Exactly. And plus, we're going to talk about Olise, but it was mainly down the right-hand side with Wardy and Olise where we attacked. So with Ty, apart from the opportunity, he didn't have much to do in this game. He returned.
Your favorite player.
He got back into the lineup. Surprisingly, I gave him a 6.5, not a 4 or 3 when I think he last played.
Last time
he did, yeah. Yeah, 6.5. You gave him a 7. Pretty good. Do you think he's back in the starting lineup talks after that performance? I don't think he done anything great. I don't think he was bad. It was a bit like Tyreek Mitchell for me. But in terms of stats, I don't know if you got them up there. Well, go ahead. Read them out.
Top stats from him, all right? 93% pass accuracy, 78 touches, 88% on long balls, 7 out of 8 accurate long balls, 3 clearances, 2 headed clearances, 2 interceptions, 9 recoveries, 1 dribbled past, 100% aerial duels, 1 out of 1. He was solid. I know people want to. I mean, and I told you I'm not a big fan of him anymore, but I have to give him credit. He played solid today. You can't really pick out any. And he played a lot of the passes forward. Remember, he normally goes sideways and backwards. No, he played a lot of forward passes. Again, it's League 2, so yes, I'll throw it out. Yeah, he found his level. Blah blah blah. But honestly, he was solid today. I mean, I want to kill him, but I can't. He played solid today.
But the way that you read out them stats, I think I got a bit of bias in my rating. I mean, he sounded like a man of the match type of performance from him, but I didn't really realize it on the pitch. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes the eye test and the numbers just don't add up well together. But based on them stats, a good performance. Solid. What you expect against League 2 performance. But then again, we can't say that because when we go and praise other players, they're also then against League 2 opponents, and we don't,
like Olise today.
Exactly. The next player, Conor Gallagher. Both gave him a 7, but in terms of actual stats, he had a very good performance. He's like the quietest 7 that I've given all season long, because he could have actually had a higher rating on another day. I'll read out some of them stats right now. But Conor Gallagher, 93% passing accuracy, 74 touches, 3 ground duels, 1 out of 6, block shots 1, tackles 2, only got dribble pass once. 2 fouls. Long balls, 4 out of 5 accurate. I thought he had a very solid performance. But for me, I don't know if you realized it, and this is where the system comes in place. He was very much out wide next to Olise as well. He was, and it was a bit different from what I'd noticed to normally how he plays. Normally, he's a bit more central, run up and down. But what we done in this game is overload in them wide areas, and I thought he done a very good. Yeah. And I thought them three, Wardy, Olise, and Gallagher, done a fantastic job.
Hate to say it, was definitely tactical, probably more to do with Hartlepool having a weaker left side, because you're right about Mitchell. Mitchell and Eze didn't even worry about the left side, because you're right. Mitchell got forward, but not a lot. Eze floated, but you're right. All of our key attacks were Olise, Gallagher, and Ward on the right-hand side. So it was a tactical thing. And I thought from that, Gallagher, again, he just solid every game. He had a spectacular game, like when he scored against Brighton or 2 goals against West Ham. But after that, he just solid all the way around, box to box, in the box, creating chances. Remember, he had the assist on the Olise goal. He's going to put the ball to Olise for the assist. So solid again, just a solid again by Gallagher as usual.
This man we've been talking about a lot in these player ratings.
Yeah.
Jeffrey Schlupp, he started once again in midfield. Both games 6.5. For me, I don't think he had a bad game. I really don't. I thought he had a very solid game. But for me, he just, going forward, he's still not a midfielder for me. Like, there are better options. We're going to talk about Eze in just a second. But, Eze is just better suited to that role, in my personal opinion. But, of course, I don't know better than Patrick Vieira. I'm not going to say I do. But he didn't have a bad game, Patrick. He didn't have a bad game.
No, he wasn't. Again, what I don't want to see, I told you, was Hughes, Gallagher, Schlupp. But with Luca in there, it seemed like whether the influence of Luca was different or just Schlupp just played different, or again, lead to opposition. But whatever it was, I thought Schlupp again was much better than he'd been in the last couple of games. He was more involved, going forward. Passing was much better, because I always find his passing not to be that great. We had like 53 touches, so he's more involved in the midfield, interchanging. I'm not sure of his role, because I'm thinking now, obviously, Luca was the holding with Gallagher being box to box. But then you had Eze and Schlupp in the middle, because you're right, Eze was more in the middle, so maybe that was more of his role. And he didn't really go out wide left, which would have made sense, right? He did that in the latter part of the Liverpool game, but he was solid today. Again, I can't really kill him. Do I want to see him in midfield going forward? Absolutely not. But again, today he was fine.
Yeah. Talking about Eze, not first start, another start for him in a long run of games that we've had. And today, as you mentioned, the thing that I want to talk about him is playing through the middle more often. I was at the stadium, and when I was looking through it, Eze was not a winger. I don't think anyone can say that. He was not a winger, a traditional winger. Olise was way more out wide than Eze was. Eze had the freedom to go through the middle, and for me, he was more like an inside forward that that had the Patrick Vieira basically told him, go out there and get into the spaces and run with the ball, and that is what he does best. And this is what I'm talking about when I say Eze is better suited in that Schlupp role. So in this performance, he didn't play 90 minutes, of course. Eze, another start, looking solid. Of course, you have talked about players that are injured, maybe taking a bit of time to get back to the match speed. But overall, I thought, both of us were pretty much happy with his performance and the progress that he's been making.
Yeah, I mean, I know people are talking about they want to rush him back. And listen, that injury he had was a very bad injury. And I like what Vieira is doing. I know people said today he was a little upset, him being Eze, he got subbed out at 70 minutes. I think you have to manage his minutes. You can't push him. I like the fact he's not in midfield right now. Give him a freer role, because when you're playing on that left side, you have defensive responsibilities. That's only if the player on that side attacks, which Mitchell's got that on lockdowns. You don't have to worry about that. So give him a free role, let him roam. Eventually, to me, he'll be a midfielder next season. Right now, leave him as is. He's not Wilf. Wilf would hog the touchline more. Let him have that free role against certain teams. Again, would that work against Norwich? I'm not really sure. It might work against Brentford. You know what I mean? But today he was fine. And again, he's getting legs under him. I thought he played really well going forward. You can see a little flair coming back. A poor free kick in the first half. I'm not going to kill him for that. But overall, I thought he played a solid game. And you can see the old Eze coming back.
And do you think Vieira is building him up for next season in a way? That's why he doesn't want to rush him.
I think there is no doubt he's going to replace Gallagher next year in a freer role. But I think if we can solidify that midfield too, let's say it's obviously Hughes and maybe a new midfielder or Hughes and let's say Maka, it'll be Eze. Eze will be given that role to just go free. The way Sam Gallagher can go free. He can tackle. He's a solid player. But I think next year we're going to have him in the 8, running free, be more creative, a little bit more creative than Gallagher. Not that Gallagher isn't creative. And I think Eze will be the player that will replace Gallagher next season.
Elise, my man of the match. Your man of the match. Wow. Yes, 9.5 out of 10 for me. You had an 8.5. Patrick, all I have to say is if that performance ain't a 9.5 or 9 out of 10, then what performance will be? What performance will be out of 10? He literally destroyed Hartlepool. I feel sorry for the left wing back. I mean, he had a hard time going up against him. But you know what I've realized? Ever since the Millwall game, Olise has found his specialty in terms of what he wants to do down the right-hand side. And that is cut in with his left foot and take the shot or cross into the box. And he is a literal upgrade to Townsend because Townsend used to do that. But Olise's silky footwork, it gives you better results. For me, man of the match, no doubt. Against League 2 opponents, I get it. But by the game, this guy has took Jordan Ayew's spot. And from here onwards, I don't think you can drop him. I don't think you can. We can talk about him maybe being too young. He needs a bit of time to grow. I don't care about age. I don't care about age when it comes to these footballers that are playing first team football. Because, you know, if you're ready for it, then you are. It's as simple as that. And Olise has shown it in this past month that he's ready to take this seriously. And once again, another fantastic performance. Our player of the month for last month.
Great performance. 2 goals, 2 assists so far in the 2 cup matches. He's played 4 straight matches now. He's only started 6 matches out of 17. He's got now 4 goals, 5 assists. The numbers speak for themselves. What I will take into account is I'm not, you don't want to do it. I'm going to take into account that it was a League 2 team, but he was very, very good today. I mean, great assist. I love that ball that he puts in on free kicks. Did the same thing against West Ham. That ball is indefensible. You can't defend that ball, which is why he was so lucky to be under it because you can score goals like that all day. The only thing I'm going to say is that he should have scored more than 1 goal today. He had other chances to score where he either didn't take the right shot or missed. But overall, man of the match, definitely. I know I'll give him a 9.5, like I said, but I just thought that he could have scored more. But he put some balls in there for Mateta. Mateta wasn't ready for that, could have scored a goal. He was very, very good today. By far our talisman right now. What I love is that we've added players like him and Edward and Gallagher. So it's not a focus on one player anymore. Even when Wilf is back in the side, and I say next match, put Wilf on the left, put Olise on the right. You can't double them both up. So if you double one of them up, the other one's going to be free. So everyone's going to have a field day. Then you've got a striker in the middle, either it's Mateta or Edward, who are going to feast off of that. And you've got a player like Gallagher coming through to follow up. So to me, it's so great to have him on the side. I don't know how long I'm going to have him for, but right now he's playing really well, and long may it continue.
Exactly. I think he's took his chance very good. I mean, Jordan
he really has. He was
arguably our best player before he left.
Had
the opportunity. Before he left. And now Elise is our best player. So it's not going to be easy. And I love the competition. That's what we want.
Yes, very key. I agree.
And yeah, with Elise's potential, boy, it is looking scary. Not for us though. Mateta, he signed for us. First game as a permanent Crystal Palace player.
Right.
He had chances in maybe in the second half that as you said, that he could have finished. But for you, it was his hold-up play that you liked.
Yeah, it's coming on. I mean, I've always said out of the 3 players, the best hold-up player is Benteke. But for me, Mateta's getting there. He links up well with our forwards. His runs in the box. Sometimes, like I said, I thought there were 2 or 3 balls that Olise put in there that he could have scored from, that he either didn't anticipate or just missed. And he had that shot hit the post that we put before that Mitchell should have scored. But he's coming on really well. And we talked before that, we did this, is that I think he's got a stamina issue, but he's getting better. You can tell that all these games that he's playing lately are making him a better player. I love the acquisition. I love the fact he's a permanent now. I think he's going to come on leaps and bounds. And again, with someone like Olise, and then you add Wilf, coming in soon to give him balls, I think he scored quite a few goals for us. And I thought he played really well today. Solid. Not spectacular and could have scored, but played well today.
Yeah, it's just about building them minutes and getting
exactly and getting that continuity with the other players.
Exactly, Yeah, I thought it was a solid performance. Now moving on to the bench, there isn't much to say about Benteke's performance. I don't know if you want to add anything. He didn't do much. Edward for me
Right.
was a bit slow as well. We both gave him a 6. Klein,
Right.
surprisingly, we gave him a 6 as well. Even though he came on at left back, which I wasn't too sure about, and then he went right back when the man that we're going to talk about in just a second, Will Hughes, not him. He came on as a 6. First team debut
Yes.
for Adam Marola. We both gave him a 6 because, let's be honest, he only played for like 5-10 minutes. He didn't play for that long. But our real backup left back is here, Patrick. He has arrived. And it was good to see him come on, and with one of his first touches, he could have actually scored a goal.
Yep. Hey, the kid's very, very fast. I've watched him a lot in the 23s. He's only 18. We're talking about it in our post-match show. He's only 18 this year. He's a true under 18 player. I watched his post-match. He's so excited to have played. The smile on his face is ridiculous. They're still ribbing him because he said he should have scored that goal. I mean, he had a chance to score. He said he can't sleep tonight because he had that chance to score. The fact that he got a chance to play is great. I was very upset at one point during the match that we hadn't brought on him or Rak-Saki. I didn't understand it. I do understand it now because, again, it was 2-0. And at 2-0, if Hartlepool gets some fluke goal and you've got 2 kids on the pitch, who knows what can happen. Imagine, God forbid it went to penalty kick, you got to have one of them take a penalty kick. So I understood it, but
it was never penalties.
I'm using the worst case scenario because honestly, Dee, I really thought that Rak-Saki should have got on the field before bringing on Edward, because Edward's going to play Wednesday, going to play Saturday. Rak-Saki's not going to play this week. You know what I mean? But having said that, I'm really happy Tayo got his debut. He looked really happy. He played really well. He's got a lot of energy in the box. He's always in the box, just like Mitchell is as far as the left back. I'm happy for the kid. I mean, I'm really just glad we got another academy player that got their first team debut.
So is that 2 now? Just Rak-Saki and Chelsea
this
and
season.
Marola as well.
Yeah,
this season as
just
well.
Those 2.
For me, those are the 2 players I'm looking forward to the most.
I agree.
So it's good to see that they had the first team debuts and credit. Of course, I would have liked to see Just Rak-Saki play in the past month, not only this game, because I don't know when he's going to get the opportunity, but his time will come as well. Just like Adam Marola in the future, they're still young and they've got talent, so no need to worry about that. But that's it for this episode. Palace beat Hartlepool 2-0. On to the next round. One step closer to Wembley. Still not there. Take it game at a time. But if you have enjoyed it, make sure to hit like and subscribe so you don't miss out on future Palace content. Thank you to Patrick. Thank you to you guys for watching. And as always, up the Palace.